All right, so this week is students and student services. So first question, jumping right in. Provide a profile for types of student population who are more likely to enroll in community colleges, so on and so forth. Um, yeah, I really thought that it was summed up pretty exactly whenever for Cohen and Brar to say, number and variety. The number has gone up tremendously, probably in the last 45 years or so. The age range is incredibly vast. Initially, community colleges kind of were catering more towards older students, providing an opportunity for older students to go either go back to school or to get skills that would help them move up further in their careers, not necessarily degrees, but just skill sets. But yeah, as of probably the last 6 or 7 years, the average age is coming down, with 26% of community college students under the age of 20 back in 2004, and so that certainly is affecting things. There are more part-time students than ever before in community colleges. Somewhere around 61% of students are part-time. 80% of students are working. So you have still that wide variety of students age-wise. You have the vast majority who are working while going to school. They're only going to school part-time. You know, there's a from an academic level standpoint, these students are typically a little bit lower. They have lower average SAT scores. But because that open door policy, that's what community colleges are there for, to provide access. That focus on providing access also has allowed the community colleges to really, hit on offering a diverse student body. They've increased the minority representation in just across the board. And they've, by providing that access, they're providing them the opportunities that come along with it. The things that entice students to enroll in these community colleges, the ease of getting into higher education, the lower tuition, which is huge, minimal if any entrance requirements. And they're kind of able to, while still even appealing to some of the older students, as far as here's a way to come in, get the skills you need to get a raise, to get a promotion, or to switch jobs into something you'd rather be doing. It's the second we were talking about student development markets and private institutions. The big thing is that for those private institutions, they see students, well, they see higher education as the commodity, they see students as the consumer, and they take care of their students. I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed in the readings is that when you look at enrollment services for private institutions, they're recruiting you, they're enrolling you, they're holding your hand while you go through the motions. They're there every step of the way. They're checking in with you constantly, and that same person who walked you through the enrollment is still there when it comes to enrolling for classes, and then as you're taking your classes and making sure you're staying on track. And on track for them means graduation. And that's how for the vast majority, that's how they measure their success. And so whenever we're talking about student success for private institutions, it's job placement. It is, let's get you out of this community college or out of this private institution and into a job. And so when you look at the services they offer, it reflects that. If the great example in Levin and Cater was, if adult students need childcare service, then let's provide childcare service. If it can be linked to helping with success, i.e. job placement, then let's provide it. The same thing is going to happen whenever you look at co-curricular activities. And so student organizations like an accounting society or a finance association or things like that that are in line with finding a job, they're going to get supported and you're going to see them there. You won't see broad student organizations, because that if it can't be linked to their version of student success, then they're not going to do it. That limited focus is what public community colleges don't have. Their mission is their mission. It's typically to be very broad, to offer a wide variety of courses, of programs. They're catering to a larger, I guess, your range of clients. And whenever you look at that, they can't just change, and they have a harder time just picking up and offering a new program, or um, they just don't have the personnel to cater and walk hand in hand with students as they go through the enrollment classes, moving through their classes. Uh, the sheer number is just not gonna work out for public community colleges. And so, it is great uh, that the private institutions have that, but to try to implement that in a public community college setting uh, might just be too difficult. You just don't have the personnel, and you can't. And if you did get the personnel, the only way you get there is if you raise prices, which means that you would be going against your mission as far as keeping tuition low. And so that kind of is what gets in the way of community colleges when it comes to that. Lastly, um, you know, what's different between community colleges and four-year institutions. The big thing is at a community college, student affairs professionals sometimes have to just fight just to exist. They're not academics, so they're not seen. They can be seen as a drain on finances. They can kind of be seen as just, oh, that's nice, but we don't need that. Aston talks about the four big factors leading to attainment: residence on campus, interaction with peer group, presence of other good students on campus, and being a full-time student. If those are four factors, at community colleges you don't have residence on campus. We talked about the lower academic ability of students. You're not a full-time student because the majority are part-time, so you're behind the eight ball nearly immediately. So for a lot of community college student affairs professionals, they're just fighting just to stay relevant, just to kind of keep their job, and that's because they have just very different challenges. And the big thing is, they have to find a way to go against maybe what they've known as far as offering evening programs or weekend programs or something like that, and find a new way to engage these students and to get them feel engaged. Yeah, that's about it.